What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today will be an interesting one because I'm gonna get started on my truck today. I think I have everything that I actually need. I have my valve springs. Yes, valve springs. I have my valve seals, and then I have my tool. So all I really need to do is to get it up on the lift, pull the two front tires so that like it's a little bit lower. I'm a little short guy, so I'll be in the engine bay at least most of the day. If you follow my page, you know that I'm extremely busy with work, powder coating wise, but I have to take a little bit of time to get this truck done. It is definitely vital in my not my everyday life, but whenever I need it, I need to use it. So I want to try to get it done. But I got these done last night. These two wheels. They're 18s, I think, by 9.5, and yeah, just look at that stretch. I'm not about the stretch life, but for whoever is, it is what it is. No judgments here. It is what it is. Like I don't know. I have my thoughts about it, but whatever. Everybody's gonna want to do what they want to do. So we're gonna head back to the back, and we're gonna check out the truck in its current state, and we're gonna go from there. Danielle's gonna be making me a little bit of breakfast because I just came from the gym and I have a really massive headache. So yeah, I'm gonna cut to it in a minute or two, but let's cut over to the truck. All right, guys, it is already a blistering 82 degrees. Thankfully the humidity isn't that crazy, but I got the truck back here. I'm kind of surprised it actually fit, but I have to take the adapters off, and I have to put my I don't know, 4-inch adapters on there, just so I could lift up the truck. Actually, I might not even have to, but I just got to take these wheels off. So as you can tell, you know what a truck looks like. Everybody knows what a truck looks like. So I just got to raise it up just a little bit, take the wheels off so that it's sitting a lot lower, so I can actually get in and out of the engine bay without having to sit on here and lay on over the frame. So the radiator support all day. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and go eat some breakfast. All right, everybody. I got these big ass 20-inch wheels on the ground, and I have the truck pretty much on the ground. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier to actually get into the engine bay to actually work, because obviously, as you know, I got to change out all the valve springs and the seals. So I need as much room as I can possibly get. I wish I could take this hood off, but it's probably like super duper heavy. So I'm not trying to do that. So I don't know if this is going to be a how-to or if it's just going to be a 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm going to do. So what I might just do is actually have you follow me through the ones that are broken, cylinder number 3 and cylinder number 5, to see what they actually look like, and then kind of go from there. But first thing you're really going to need to do is take all of this stuff off the top. Meaning your airbox, your intake plenum, and your airbox line or whatever. So after you get all of that done, we can move on to the next step of taking all the coils and all the wires off, because they're just going to get in your way. So let's do that, and then like I said before, I'm gonna go inside, have some breakfast, and try to freshen up just a little bit, and we'll hit this hard after breakfast. All right, people. So a word to the wise. Let me tell you exactly what I'm doing here. Be sure it's easier to do it now and to mark all your the wires, just because the wires correspond to the opposing cylinder. So you already know how that goes. So it's easier just to mark them 2, 4, 6, and 8, 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the driver's side, on the boot itself, and on the actual like lower boot, because obviously there's I'm gonna call it an upper boot and a lower boot, and it's just easier to mark it now while everything is good, you don't have to worry about anything, just so that when you're putting it all back together, you're not confused, because obviously you're gonna have to chase wires. So do that. Take like a minute or two and just mark it with a Sharpie or something like that. Usually I would say use a silver marker, but I know that's, you know, not a lot of people have a silver marker. I don't even have, I don't know what I did with mine. So if you do have something that you can definitely see, do that, because as you can see, mine is kind of faded a little bit, and I only did it 2 weeks ago or a week ago. So just take a minute and just do that real quick. All right. Guys, we are back at it after eating a good hearty breakfast. We're gonna attack this now. Hopefully my air compressor, my little Craftsman air compressor, will be up to the job. It's gonna be super loud and take super long to you know, fill my tank, but whatever, it is what it is. But I do have the valve covers off. There's one there, the other one is over there. But yeah, you can see into the wells there, to the cavity of the head. But we're actually going to start with this side first. I know it's a little hard to see, but I'm going to go after 3 and 5 right off the bat. I want to see if there's anything that that is really wrong, or if it's something that I have to be more concerned about with something a little bit worse. But hopefully that's not the case. We're gonna go with this on this side first, like I said before, and we're gonna rock it out. So give me a couple minutes, and I don't know, maybe I might put you on time lapse or something like that, and we'll see what we got to do. All right guys, so quick update. I think I started roughly about 1:30, 1:45. It is now like 3:15 or so, and at this current time, I have I gotta get up. Well, you can't see. I have all 8 on the driver's side bank, which is 1, 3, 5, and 7, if I'm not mistaken. I have all of them already done. I didn't record any of that stuff just because my butt was in the air and I didn't want to really show all that. But I will do somewhat of a thorough job showing the passenger side bank and trying to get you guys on the right path to getting it done the correct way. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break right now. I've been at this, you know, like I said before, like maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours or something like that. And I do have all of my parts, all of my tools scattered everywhere. So I do want to get a little bit more organized, probably not. And I want to show you exactly what to do on the other side, just because it'll be a lot easier to get this side done than it will be the other side. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break, like I said before, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back in full effect here. After taking a little bit of a break, I'm glad to say I'm back. Finish up this job and hopefully find something, because I haven't found any broken springs just yet. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna help you know, the truck out or whatever. But I did go after 3 and 5 to see if there were broken springs, like I said before, but with no luck. Unless I picked from the wrong side, which I don't think I did. I think that I don't really have any broken valve springs. But again, I'm gonna go over to the, you know, passenger side to see what I can kind of do. But yeah, let's get to it. All right, guys, let's get to starting this bad boy. It's actually easier to you have a little bit more space if you take the EGR valve off. It's 2 10mm bolts right here. The gasket will fall down, and the line goes up this way and into the whatever you want to call it, lower intake plenum or whatever. So you want to get that out of the way. And thankfully, everything in the engine bay, as far as the camshaft, you know, like the tops here, the rocker rollers, they're all like, it's marked I for intake. There's no E for exhaust, but the I for intake, so you know which side it goes on. But these are all 10mm bolts. There's 5 of them, 2, 4, 6. There's no 5 of them. 5 of them, to just pull them off and set those to the side. You won't really be able to get those mixed up, trust me. It just won't happen. But let's get that off now. The truck is actually too high, so I can't really record what I'm actually doing if I don't put the camera inside the bay somewhere. So I'm just gonna set it up somewhere and just watch me work. Now that you have the rocker rollers, both the exhaust and intake off, it gives you a lot better of a view of what you got going on here. What I'm using is a leak down tester, because it's a lot easier than using a compression gauge or whatever. So easiest thing. It all depends on what you got here. A lot of people throw their cylinder at top dead center, but I found out that if you pressurize the cylinder to a good amount of pressure, between 40 and 80 psi, you won't really need to worry about putting it at top dead center. The only problem, if you did want it, if you didn't put it at top dead center, that if you know, if it's not going to crack loose, then you'll have some issues. You might just drop the valve or something like that. But me being a professional that I am, what I normally do is the easiest way to check if you are using, let me take this thing off here. If you are using a leak down tester, the easiest way to do is I usually set it to 40, and usually I can crack them all loose. There were 2 or 3 on the other side that I actually had to put 80 psi. That's enough cylinder pressure inside the bore that it's pushing up against the, you know, what do you call it? All right, everybody. So now that you have your rocker rollers all taken apart and set to the side, you can actually get a good look at what you're dealing with on the passenger side over here. So it's a lot easier, a lot less cramped than it is on the driver's side. As you can tell, I can actually see just about all of my valve springs and my retainers and my seats. So next thing you want to do is we're gonna go and try to pressurize the cylinders. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Now, the first way is to stick something in I don't know, like a super long screwdriver or 1/4-inch extension, 12-inch extension, or something like that to bring it up to top dead center. Now me, I've been doing this for a very long time, so I kind of know more about how to do these things than your average, you know, like do-it-yourselfer. I've been in the field for a very long time, but what I usually do is anywhere between 40 and 80 psi into the cylinder would allow you to crack these, you know, the seals or the valve stems loose. So you won't really need to worry about bringing the motor up to top dead center. Now, what I usually use is a leak down tester. Now, the reason why I use this instead of something else, maybe like compression gauge or anything like that, this is the reason why. Now, a lot of people can put 40 psi in. That's really all it's required to hold the valves up against the seats so that you don't have any leakage. But if you do have any leakage, you could see from the gauge. The gauge will, you know, this is what it's designed for. You'll see the leakage fluctuate and the PSI drop. and letting you know that you're coming off the valve seat. So, and you don't want to really do that. So what you're gonna have to do is put more PSI in. So anywhere from 40 to 80 is what I usually recommend doing. 80 if you wanted to crack them loose, and you know, 40 if they're good and you can crack them loose with without as much pressure. I don't really have a really good air compressor, so it takes a lot for me to actually it takes a long time for my my compressor to actually get to 150 psi, but it gets the job done. You know, everybody's using electric now, so the only thing that I really actually need my compressor for is air, blown up tires, and really that's kind of about it. Blowing up tires and doing stuff like this. But yes, a leak down tester is probably your best bet. So let's get to that now, and I'll show you exactly what we're gonna be doing. So I turned off my compressor because it was super duper loud. But once I actually fill this cylinder with compression, I'll show you the tool that I use, and we'll just go from there. All right, people. So I'm just gonna go and do this live here. So now you hook up your compression gauge or your cylinder leak down tester, and this is what you're looking at. I'm sorry if it's a little messed up here. Don't really have a lot of line, and I got a lot of stuff to do here. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pressurize the cylinder to 40 psi, and the motor will move. That's just the cylinder filling up with air. All right, so now you can see it's not going anywhere. I have it set for 40 psi. Hopefully that should be enough. So let's get our tool out. Let's put this to the side. Monitor that just to make sure it's not going to leak. All right. Let's put this somewhere where it's not going to go anywhere. So this is our tool. It's from Crane. They make the really the only tool that I know of for this motor. But let's put this here. No, let's do the top one first. Maybe you guys can see that a little bit better. Yes. So you don't have to screw this down like super tight. So just a little hand tight so that you can actually like move this, because it's got a little, see, it's a little too tight still. All right, so you want this thing to wiggle back and forth like this. So you actually want it to be centered on the actual valve seat, so that when you push down, when you start to compress it, it'll have no problem. So let's just do this real quick, and let's see if this thing will compress for me. See, it's not center. All right, so that looks like it's pretty centered there. All right, so this is a 17, and I'm gonna use my little stubby ratchet just to see if it'll move. So this is what I'm looking at. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm looking at my compression gauge or my leak down tester, and I'm gonna spin this bad boy, and I'm gonna see if it moves. And you see, 40 psi is good enough to do this. Since it's not moving, and I've got, I don't know, like 10 cranks on this bad boy, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna look to see what we got. All right, I'm gonna continue, and then I'll move the camera so that you guys can see. All right, now let's see. Let's get this. Sorry guys. So, all right. Where's my light here? All right. So that's what you're looking for there. You see how the valve seat is moved off of the keepers? That's what you want. And now you want a magnet, and you want to try to get those keepers out of there. So let's do this. I have my little magnet. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's put that over there to the side. And now just take this off. All right, so quick disclaimer here. I was using my little stubby ratchet, and what you can use is since my electric ratchet is damn it. Stay tuned. All right, since my little stubby ratchet, sorry about that. Since my little stubby ratchet is really good, you can use an electric ratchet, and there you go. That's what you got. So all you got to do is repeat this on all the cylinders, and you know, I'll show you how to get them back in. So just stay tuned. 1 minute. Everybody, so here is excuse me, the last part that I have for you. Always make sure that you're checking your gauges just to make sure that there is no leakage, that you don't drop the valve, because that would be bad. But here we go. If you can kind of see that, I have the keepers, I have the new valve seal, the new valve, the valve spring, and the retainer all put together and ready to come back up. So this is where I would use my power stuff, because there's really like no reason to do it by hand. Just do it nice and slow, just to make sure that it's coming up there. And boom, there you have it, everybody. It's not a simple job by any means, but it can be simple with the right tools and the right know-how. So I have 15% on this battery, so I'm gonna go inside, change it, and I'm gonna set up, and I'm gonna just whale through all of these bad boys. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so that finishes up this job. Hopefully you saw most of what I was doing. I know it was probably a little hard to see, but I do apologize if that is the case. But I got all the valve springs done, the retainers done, the keepers in, and the rocker arms back on both sides and all torqued down. So all that's really left to do is to change out the gaskets on the valve covers and put it all back together and see if what I did was right. I don't really know. I didn't really see anything that was any cause for concern in the pile of springs here, but none of them were broken or anything like that, which is a major cause for concern. But I did it anyway. It's done. So the truck's got 200,000 miles on it, and I don't know, it is what it is. So we'll just go from there. Hopefully what I did, you know, was good, and again, like I said before, we'll just go from there. So I don't know what the next step would be if this isn't the issue, but as it's looking right now, like I said before, none of the valve springs were broken, but I did them anyway, so whatever. Like, I thought that was where my gut was going, but again, all the pile over here says differently. So this is where we're gonna leave this video off. Hopefully I'm gonna get this truck done later on this evening after I get done eating, and I don't know, take it for a test drive. If all is well, I'll just film that, and hopefully it will be good. If not, then I'll definitely put it down in the comments or something like that. So if something like this helps you do your valve springs on your 5.7 liter Dodge Ram, 1500, I don't know, just hit that like button and comment down below. So I don't know, I guess I'll see you on the next one. All right, deuces. All right, everybody, so I know I was gonna wrap the video up, but I just wanted to let everybody know that I did finish the truck. I have it sitting outside right now with the hood open. As you can imagine, I took it for a test drive and all is well, actually. So I don't know if it was just the valve springs or what it was, but that's really the only thing I did change. I have the hood open just because it was burning a little bit of oil. As you can imagine, the valve springs and stuff like that, the oil just drooped down and you know, got onto the exhaust manifolds. But yeah, the truck runs really well now. No hesitation. If I you know, give it a little bit of brake and a little bit of gas, it simulates load on the engine, and usually that was enough to actually get it to break up and do what it was doing. But as of right now, the truck is good. So win-win. So now I can actually take and do what I need to do with the truck, with the Evo, put it on the trailer, and get it to my tuner one of these days. So on to the next one. All right, deuces.